Gelu's childhood dream was to be a super bad boy, buy ice cream, meet the queue, use a butter gun to freeze them in place, and buy ice cream smoothly. Even so, he still refused to give up. Taking ice cream and Kevin's three brothers to the gym is a show. People in the gym are drooling. Gelu is patting his ass and looking at the movie and never queuing. It's more of a package factory. You can open the door and see a crowd of people. Gelu doesn't care. Take a smelly egg out of your ass and ran away with all the people inside. He put on the anti-poison mask and went in to have a look. He went to the game room and cheated crazily. He used the magnet to control the three-dimensional ball. He threw the ball at every empty star. He caught the doll machine and let the little fat man go in to clean up the mess. However, such a small fight can't satisfy Gelu. His life goal is to join the world's most awesome villain organization, the Villain Alliance. Also, to join the local village organization, the Villain Alliance. On this day, Gelu returned home and was invited by the Villain Alliance for an interview. Gelu instantly opened his eyes. He must get the interview this time. But Jiang is old after all. The next second, Black Sister gave him a lesson. As expected of the notorious Bad Guys Alliance. Back home, Gelu was excitedly preparing for tomorrow's interview. He took a shower, put on his bad guy pants, and dressed up in the most handsome clothes. He set off like this and soon arrived at the interview site. But he didn't expect that he was not the only one to participate in the interview. Looking at a few big brothers sitting in the waiting hall, Gelu began to worry. During the interview, Gelu looked up at the Bad Guys Alliance. I was shaking and introducing myself. Hello, my name is Gelu. I've been practicing for 2.5 years. I like it. I didn't wait for Gelu to finish his words. Black Sister interrupted him. A little kid like you should go back and sing and dance rap basketball. It's not suitable for you to be a bad guy. Come back to see me when you make some achievements. Gelu was angry. He has never looked down on himself like this since he was a child. He took advantage of them to make a mess and stole the gem behind them. This can be confused by the Bad Guy Alliance. How can this be passed on? I started arresting Gelu at random. In the run, Gelu arranged for Otto to take the gem back home first, and then he lured the bad guys himself. I don't know if Gelu is really a man of great courage, or if the bad guys are really weak. They use their whole body to vent their anger, but still let Gelu run away and return to the base. Gelu was excitedly celebrating today's success, fantasizing that the bad guys have seen his strength and will definitely visit him, begging him to go back. Now everything is ready. Only the east wind is missing. As long as those gem otters come back smoothly, Gelu's life will enter a new height. Finally, Otto came late. He took out a pet stone from his pocket. It turned out that Otto, who was doing well, had returned home with the gemstone. But he found a pet stone in the hand of a little girl next door. Otto used the gemstone without hesitation to exchange with her, and then he came back in a hurry. After hearing that Gelu was so angry that he didn't say anything, he said, "You eat mine, you live mine, and you said you were my little brother, but you ruined my future." Angry, Gelu relieved all the little yellow people and set off alone to find the gemstone. But he didn't expect that as soon as he left the house and was caught by the bad guys, Kevin saw that the boss was caught and hurried to gather everyone and started to discuss how to save Groot. That's how the plan to save Groot began. What does it feel like when a little yellow man flies a plane for you? Kevin on the ground is reading the manual, but his big eyes can't stand the excitement in his heart, and he's dancing in the cabin. Under his operation, the original jet plane took off in place and then crossed the 50-day runway, sliding into the clouds with a 90-degree fighter jet. Not long after the plane arrived at the destination, it landed at a 90-degree angle, just like a normal takeoff. In the sound of the passengers crying and shouting, the landing was in the designated position. They didn't come here for a reason, but to save the kidnapped Gelu. But I didn't expect that it wasn't Black Sister who took Gelu, but the old man who was the bad guy before. It turned out that a long time ago, the old man was the boss of the Bad Guy Alliance. They went together to find the life-saving gem, but they didn't expect that after Black Sister got the gem and abandoned the old man, everyone thought that this legendary villain was dead, but he didn't die. He decided to come back for revenge and get back the living gemstone so he could be the boss again. But Gelu really didn't know where the gemstone was. In the end, the two of them worked together to find the gemstone and kill the Villain Alliance, and the three brothers who had just arrived here were discovered by the bodyguard. They had no choice but to flee in panic. They were forced to go nowhere in Tangren Street. Fortunately, they were saved by a Chinese aunt who was a warrior. The aunt came up with a set of Shaolin Kung Fu. She beat the bodyguard, who was tall and big, in 3 punches to the ass and urine. After seeing the power of the aunt, the three of them decided to swear allegiance to the aunt. But who knew that the aunt had decided to return and no longer teach martial arts? Let the three of them get out of here quickly. But looking at the eyes of the little fat pig, the aunt still reluctantly accepted them and came up to teach them the exclusive must-kill Iron Head attack. Kevin said it was easy. Big Eyes said, "I also think Kevin's head is easy." Under their endless efforts, they destroyed 50 of Master's wooden houses, and 50 trees were blown away by Master. They also finished 500 push-ups under Master's feet, and were caught by the sea leopard 50 times. They finally mastered magic and were able to write poems to save Gelu. On the other side, Otto, who was riding a children's bike, was chasing a man with a gem. Finally, after riding for 250 kilometers, he got a heart-wrenching gem. Unexpectedly, the angry bad guys also came to this city in disguise. You've never seen such a cool dark door. Only to see the old man leading Gelu to the toilet and then squatting down silently. Unexpectedly, there was something else in the small toilet bowl. As soon as he put his hands down, a touchscreen scanner appeared. After scanning, the toilet wall suddenly cracked and opened a door. The door said, "Evil Bank." The old man brought Gelu here to steal something from the vault. The two came to the front desk and began to perform. The old man first pretended to have a heart attack and then urged Gelu to call for help to attract everyone's attention. He took the opportunity to run to the front door of the vault, but he didn't expect to fall on the ass of the lobby manager. Gelu took out the glue and stuck the key in his hand, but he didn't expect it to be too sticky, which made the manager of the hall notice it. Fortunately, the old man concentrated and transferred the attention of the manager of the hall, which made it possible for Gelu to get the key. After inserting the key, it was necessary to turn the huge wheel, which was too difficult for a child like him. He used his whole body to vent, but the nurse finally arrived. They adjusted the heart, lung, abdomen, and ventricle to the maximum power. It was supposed to be a fake, but this time, it was really going to have a heart attack. His consciousness was blurred for a moment. Fortunately, Gelu arrived in time. If he came a little later, maybe the old man had to pretend to be dead. Back in the car, Gelu took out the famous painting he had stolen. Mona Lisa's smile. Nightfall is coming soon. It's the 30th anniversary. The bell of the new year will soon ring. The streets of Tang Yuan are bustling with bustle. Gelu happened to meet Otto with a gem here. When he was about to leave, he was blocked by the evil alliance. Black Sister used the iron lock to tie Gelu up and took away the gem in his hand. At the moment the bell rang, Black Sister pressed the gem in her hand, only to see the primordial spirit of Shen Shao rush straight into the sky and then come back to the 5 of them. They became fire-breathing dragons, powerful cows, agile stars, agile snakes, and fierce tigers. Seeing this, Otto fainted on the spot. The Black Sister, who turned into a dragon, saw Gelu floating on the ground. She grabbed him and tied him between the clock and the needle. With the passage of time, the furnace will also be torn apart slowly. The 3 of Kevin, who just arrived, saw their boss in danger. Kevin warned Black Sister loudly to put their boss down. Black Sister saw these 3 little guys and used the power of laughter to turn them into weak animals. Kevin turned into a rabbit, Fatty turned into a sheep, and Big Eye turned into a chicken. Black Sister spit fire at them. The 3 of them hurriedly ran away, and Gelu was still screaming loudly upstairs. This is a figure walking out of the flame, which is the old man. So the 3 weak animals and an old man with white hair fight the 5 fierce beasts. Although the strength gap is very large, the 2 sides did not make an easy move. It's just that the serious generation kept screaming, and finally battle began under Gelu's scream. The old man and the Black Sister were fighting, and the monkey was chasing the little fat man. He thought he was out of the sky, but he was knocked out by the old cow that rushed out of the side. The double-jointed girl turned into a giant snake, and her big eyes were drooping, and her big eyes could only keep screaming. Kevin was chased by a tiger into a dead end. His eyes were dead to the tip of his nose, and the sound of his aunt's kung fu was heard in his ears. In an instant, he exploded. As a rabbit, his advantage is speed. After spinning the tiger in place, the horn flame flew into the sky, and from the sky, a set of feet flew towards the tiger. Xiaopang is a sheep. Its most powerful advantage is its 2 legs, which support its strength and go straight to the monkey's little the monkey and the wild cow's little cow. Dian is a chicken. In addition to singing, dancing, rapping, basketball, Xia Dan is the best. He uses all his strength to break free, splits his legs in the air, constantly hits the snake's face with eggs, and even hatches a chick. The giant snake swallowed it without hesitation. At this moment, Diane's mother, Fan Lan, kicked the snake and passed out. At this time, Otto woke up and saw that he was immediately torn into 2 halves of Jeru. He tried to save him. At the same time, the old man was fighting with the evil dragon. He grabbed the nose of the dragon and wanted to use inertia to grab the life-saving gem on his neck, but he didn't expect to be seen through by the dragon. He burned the old man with a flame. At this time, the 5 powerful sound effects were activated. They rushed to Gelu together. As soon as the 1,000 soldiers arrived, the 3 brothers of Kaiwan blocked Gelu's body. In the end, they learned the master's Shiho Gong and blew the 5 monsters out directly. Gelu just grabbed the gem in the air, pressed the button, turned the 5 bad guys into mice, and then turned the 3 Kaiwan back to their original form. Only the big eyes are not fully recovered, and there are still organs and whiskers. Maybe he still needs to practice for 2.5 years to recover.